Hi, I'm Holly.
And I'm Patrick. I'm the pharmacy manager at Randall Mill Pharmacy.
Today we are discussing nutrition, as March is National Nutrition Month. Nutritional needs can vary from person to person, but the key details that never change are how to read labels, understanding the difference between macro and micronutrients, and eating whole, clean food.
That's right. So let's talk numbers real quick. In 2017 and 2018, about 42% of the American population was classified as being obese. So we're talking about almost half of the population at that time. And obesity can actually lead to some very serious health problems, including stroke, heart issues, diabetes, and those things can lead to a premature death.
Right. And almost half the population, that's a real issue. Patrick, what are some key points about nutrition that you can share?
Sure. So some people may tell you that it's hard to eat healthy, or maybe it's too expensive to eat healthy, and that's actually not the case. To eat healthy, you want to eat a well-balanced meal most of the time, which would include things like protein, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, those type of things. You want to drink a lot of water. You want to avoid a lot of salt and alcohol. I think these are things most people know, but it may be hard to put into practice.
Right. And another key thing is food labels. Food labels can be hard to understand. Do you mind breaking down some of the key points on a food label?
Sure, yeah. So the first thing most people see is serving size. Serving size just refers to how much a typical serving would be for a person. Also, there's the number of servings that's typically listed, and that just tells you in the package that you're buying how many servings there will be if you follow that standard serving size. And then there's usually a % daily value that's listed as well, and that kind of gives you a nutritional breakdown on what you're eating. So that information is a very good starting point on where you want to go to get the food that you eat, and also how much you should eat. And then let me also just add real quickly, when you're looking at a nutritional label, another thing to look for is the type of fat that's in the product that you're eating. So you want to avoid saturated fats and trans fats, and what you want to look for is unsaturated fats. That's just kind of a good tip to look for when you're buying these products.
Absolutely. So let's get down to the eating part. Patrick, can you talk about what a healthy plate of food should look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you think about your plate, generally speaking, you want to, like we talked about, have proteins, vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. One thing, or one way that I typically think of it, is if you were to put like a letter T on your plate, you want your protein to be the biggest part of your plate, and then fruits and vegetables on the other part. It's just a general guide, but that kind of gives you the idea. Your protein is really going to be your healthier portion. It's also what's going to give you the most long-lasting energy, whereas grains and fruits, they typically peak pretty quickly and then dip right after that. And then just one other thing I'll mention too, if you're really wanting to lean into weight loss or really want to focus on weight loss, typically your protein and your vegetables are what you want to focus on, because grains still have some carbs and fruits still have some sugar. So a lot of times protein and vegetable is really your building blocks for a healthy meal.
Right. And if you want to get more of an idea on what a healthy plate of food actually looks like, you can visit MyPlate.gov, and they have a great description on how to build your plate and what an ideal nutritional meal can look like. So Patrick, is it true that eating healthy is expensive?
No. So actually that's not true. And I even have seen some people, talk about how much money they can save whenever they go shopping at the grocery store. They bring their food home and they cook it, as opposed to eating out, all the time. And I know it's not easy, especially if you've built a habit of eating things that may not be considered healthy. Your body will start to crave those things, and it's easy to see, you know, if you eat fast food regularly and then you stop for a couple days, it's real easy to sit down for a moment and then you start to realize you're wanting the things that you've been eating. But a good analogy for this, especially with fast food, would be like the gas you put in your car. You know, fast food would be equivalent to like a old sludgy type of gasoline that can really corrode things. It kind of works the same in your body. You want to eat clean, you want to eat healthy to make sure that your arteries stay clean and you avoid the things that we talked about previously as far as the bad health effects go. Okay, and so let's quickly talk about some tips on how to shop healthy on a budget. You start by making a list before you go into the grocery store. You don't want to go in and just kind of not have a plan. You also don't want to shop when you're hungry. So hopefully after you've just eaten, you have your list with you. That's when you go to the store. And you want to buy whole foods. Some examples of this would be like buying a whole block of cheese as opposed to shredded cheese, or buying like a bag of beans as opposed to like refried beans. And try and buy things that are still whole. Also, it's a good idea to shop for produce while it's in season. And then you also want to shop for food that's frozen. Anytime you have a chance to choose between something frozen or something canned, you want to definitely go with the frozen option. So the take-home message is, you don't have to break the bank to eat well. Okay, so plan your meals at home, cook your meals at home, and just make smart choices at the grocery store based on what we've talked about in this video already.
So in today's video, we discussed nutrition labels, whole food, and shopping on a budget. If you have any questions about any of the things that we discussed in today's video, you can reach out to us at Randall Mill Pharmacy. Our number is 817-274-1883. And also please remember to like, share, and follow on our social media platforms. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now TikTok. And that wraps up our video, so we'll see you next month. Stay safe and stay well.